Everybody, welcome back to Wicked Good Sports. This is Miami Minute, where we talk about my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. And so far this season, we've certainly run the gauntlet of different possibilities. First week of the season, we were quite happy with a 17-16 road win over the rival New England Patriots, only to come back home the second week of the season against the Buffalo Bills and get just destroyed and lose to our starting quarterback for what we now know is at least 3 weeks. Not great. Then this week, we lost to the Raiders 31-28, but if I'm being honest, I'm not quite upset about how this one finished out. You see, they lost in overtime 31-28 after the game ended in regulation 25-25 due to a missed extra point by the Raiders and a successful 2-point conversion near the end of the game for the Dolphins to put it into overtime. But that's not the big story. So if we're being honest, the Dolphins should have won this game. I'll put it that way. The essentially, gifted 5 points to the Raiders, and I'll describe it as that. So if they did not do potentially the worst play I've ever seen called, a screen pass from your own 1 yard line in the end zone that resulted in a safety after Jalen Waddle had to jump quite high to secure it and really had no opportunity to advance the ball at all. That gave the Raiders 2 points after the Dolphins had started out the game, winning 14-0 on a pick six and a fourth down stop in Miami territory that pretty much gifted them another touchdown. That really swung the momentum back in the Raiders' favor. I'm going to be trying not to call them the Oakland Raiders. It's tough. It's so ingrained in my mind that they're the Oakland Raiders, but no longer, as they are the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Las Vegas Raiders were able to come back, and going into halftime, the Dolphins had an opportunity to kick a field goal. They missed it. It doinked off the uprights. So that's the 5 points that they really should have had. Really, if they had either of those, that end of the game sequence where they scored to force overtime could have been to win the game. So a little disappointing there. It was very disappointing to see the Dolphins start off so hot and then just kind of let the Raiders not only get back into it after the safety, but take the lead and force them to have to come back in the final seconds of the game. Jacoby Brissett, he played as well as you can expect a backup to play, which is to say he didn't play great, but he didn't lose the game for the Dolphins. He had some gutsy plays, including a third down QB sneak to give them a touchdown, and then a pretty nice throw on the 2-point conversion to Will Fuller, who was playing his first game for the Dolphins after being suspended and then missing the last game due to personal issues. What can you say about Jacoby Brissett? He's not very fast, though he does run a lot. He reminds me of Tom Brady, his former mentor in New England when he runs. He's probably a little bit faster. I'm being kind of a dick saying that he looks like Tom Brady while running. But there is a slight awkwardness to his running style, heavy-footedness, if you will. He doesn't make the most accurate passes. There were several moments in the game, including a long pass to Devontae Parker, where I feel like he should have put it out in front of him a little bit more. Rather, Parker had to kind of adjust to the ball in the air, and he was kind of forced out of the way by one of the Raiders, number 27, who played decently, I feel like, in this game. The Waddle pass that led to the safety, that was very much... Well, it was a dumb call. Don't get me wrong. Terrible call. But Jacoby Brissett didn't really help Jalen Waddle out. He should have gotten it right on target, should have given Jalen Waddle a chance to at least get back to the line of scrimmage. But since he had to jump up, there was just no chance. So, all in all, he didn't play well, but he's the backup. That's kind of what you expect. You don't expect starter numbers from someone who's supposed to be the backup. So disappointing result there. The Raiders played really well. I thought it was also disappointing that, the defense is really in the second half in overtime, they were kind of getting run on however they wanted. The Raiders had a great pass in overtime to set up the game-winning field goal as well as a long run that really iced the game and kind of let them bring it down all the way to the end of overtime for their kicks. So not great. Not really what you want to see there. Other than that, I really wish the Dolphins would run the ball a little bit more. It feels like they give up on the run too soon. I saw a stat that Myles Gaskin's averaging 5-yard carry. You'd think that they'd want to see if that can be sustainable over the long term, but I guess that's why I'm not an offensive coordinator or one of the offensive coordinators for the Miami Dolphins. Another big storyline, their offensive line just doesn't look good. It still doesn't look good. Austin Jackson, it's his second season. I don't want to call him a bust. He can certainly improve, but like we're getting to the point where it's like if he's getting run over or people are beating him, even when he's double teaming people, like what are we doing here? We traded Laramie Tunsil for a bunch of picks, and it feels like we haven't hit really on most of those picks. So that's, of course, disappointing. But again, all in all, I was expecting them to lose by a lot. So the fact that they brought it to overtime, brought it as far as you can go to the end of overtime, that's exciting. And hopefully if Tua had been playing, the Dolphins would have won. Again, Derek Carr, he's playing really great for the Raiders. He's on pace to shatter records. We'll see if he can keep those going. I think he said it was his 5th straight 300-yard passing game, carrying over from last season, one short of the record for the Raiders, held by Rich Gannon, the season that they won the Super Bowl. I know that because he said that probably 100 times during the broadcast. So that was good. Good for him. Good for the Raiders. And yeah, moving forward, we'll see what happens, right? I mean, the Dolphins aren't getting Tua back for at least 3 weeks now. So we're going to have to kind of ride with Brissett, hope that the team can kind of make plays where he cannot, and potentially win a couple of games, at least one of these games to stay at 2-4 before Tua gets back. It's bleak. I know we get to play the Jets, who are having their own problems a couple times this year, but we'll see what happens with the Colts game. I'm not necessarily super high on them. Granted, Carson Wentz hasn't looked amazing this season after not looking very good last season, and of course he's banged up. So we'll see what happens. All in all, disappointed that they lost. I'm glad they gave us an exciting game at least, and you probably want to hear from it. Yes, I think that was a pass interference on Will Fuller in overtime in the end zone. But they didn't get the call, and they decided not to go for the win, decided to go for the tie in overtime, and lo and behold, the Raiders had too much time. We're going to drive down the field and win the game. So last season, it started off very similar, 1-2 as well, before they made adjustments and really were able to play great and just rip off a lot of wins down the stretch. Hopefully they can make adjustments this season and do something similar. We shall see. It's going to be tough without their starting quarterback. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that the Dolphins should have won? Did you think that was pass interference? What do you think of Jacoby Brissett and how he played? Love to hear from you about any of those. Again, this is Miami Minute for Wicked Good Sports. I'm Brian Marr. You can follow me on Twitter at TheFakeBMarr. You can follow the channel on Twitter at WGEverything or at Wicked Good Sports on Instagram at Wicked Good Everything. On Twitch at twitch.tv/Wicked Good Everything, and on TikTok, just search Wicked Good Everything. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.